the Wednesday Week podcast, a strictly unbiased view on Sheffield Wednesday, the world's greatest football club.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Week. My name's Dan Fudge and you join us this week unbeaten in 7, scoring more than 1 goal in games, and for some reason Stephen Fletcher rolling back the years and hitting the onion bag. First on the line, I've got a young lady keeping one eye on the South Stand and the other on her Tinder app. It's Miss Victoria Wood. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Evening, you alright?
It was good, that, wasn't it? It was good, wasn't it? I enjoyed that.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
Right,
thanks.
I've got a special treat for everybody now, ladies and gentlemen. So, with us
Hold
today...
on to your fruit bags.
Hold on to your fruit bags. With us today, where we have a Steel City derby, we wanted to invite someone who's seen thousands of them. I'm proud to announce another cameo for Mr. Steve Beastie. He's here, ladies and gentlemen. He's naked. He's laid down. All right, Steve.
Well, no, I did tell you a bit of a lie, really.
Crowd noise.
I'm not quite naked. I have got my leather thong on.
Well, that's made it distinctly less weird.
That's all. That's all I've got. Can I describe it to you?
Why not?
Please
Why not?
do.
We're already through the looking glass now, Steve.
This is most action I've had in months.
Yeah, I've noticed that on your Facebook account.
I know.
Yeah, it's very, very sad, Victoria. It's
I know,
sad.
I know.
Yeah. Well, my thong is mainly blue and white, obviously. Apart from the gusset, which is red and white. which I like to keep particularly moist.
Oh, God.
Just for special occasions.
I feel like I don't get this.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding like Jeremy Clarkson, on that bombshell, we're going to move on very quickly. And don't forget this
Even
podcast...
dog's going.
I know, she's left you. This podcast is brought to you by the Riverside Cafe. Open on match days on Catch Bar Lane. It's quite near to Vic's house, so don't let that put you off. Right then, so we've got two games to get through this week. So first one, Swansea City. Wow, I mean, where did that come from? Vic? Did you see this coming at all?
I mean, yeah, I did. To be fair, I think I don't know if I'm just being a bit of a happy clapper, but I think I went into this with quite a lot of confidence. It got to half time, and I always meet Rich and Andy at half time, and normally we all stand and moan, or we try and get on Sky Bet, and we can't get on Sky Bet, and we're all like, oh, fucking Sheffield Wednesday's Wi-Fi. But we all just stood there like, I don't know what to say. Like, we're all right, aren't we? And it was a very odd situation. Like the game before, obviously, I don't know, there was something about it. We kind of all went, that's all right, isn't it? Bloody hell.
So we're
probably going to concede one next half, but and it really was like that.
So
to be fair, you could hear everybody up cop saying her. Everybody would have it.
Yeah, just like a big, like listening to DJ Otzi singing "Hey Baby, Hey Wednesday." Just finished it.
That's exactly what I like.
What about you, Steve? Then, what did you make of it? So, for example, Michael Hector, the previous game, said it went up to his best. And to be fair to him, he did have a poor game. Dug himself out on social media, and then was sublime. Well, I mean, did you see the same game I did?
Well, I like that about Hector. I always love players that are willing to stick their hand up when they've made a mistake. And he made a lot of mistakes in that Rotherham game.
Yeah.
Came out, stuck his hand up, and then he responded with a fantastic performance in that Swansea game. He was brilliant. But nobody saw that coming, not that first 45. People were walking past me at half time up front at Cop, and they were shaking their heads. If it were a cartoon, they'd all have big question marks above their heads. There's no idea where that performance came from, that 45 minutes, and I've said it loads of times. It's got to be the best 45 since, I don't know, early Carlos, something like that.
Well, that's a bold statement, Steve. So, Vic, the contrast in between the halves, do you reckon it was more Swansea getting their life together? Swansea getting their life together. Yeah, Swansea. That's how Fonzie says it. That's how Fonzie from Swansea says it.
Swansea, up way.
Do you reckon that was them? Do you reckon we take Do you reckon we took the foot off the gas a little bit and just tried to consolidate?
Yes.
I mean, with 3 goals up, or did they come back into it a little bit? What do you reckon?
I 100% do not understand. Steve, not you, Steve. Steve Bruce. I was going to say Steve B then. I still can't get away with it. Steve Bruce, I love you. I love you. I promise I will never throw a cabbage at you. It's like that song, I'll never throw a cabbage at you. But why the fuck would you make that change? I don't get it. I don't get it. It made no sense whatsoever. There was just no need for it. But, and the whole, we fell to shit for like 10 minutes and look what happened. We picked it back up. Everyone kind of got back together. But that change for me was mind blowing. But we didn't lose, did we? So you can't really complain about it. It's like, it's one of those things like, you might have put an extra sugar in, but it didn't poison you, did it? So it's not, it's not the end of the day, like the end of the world, but it threw me. It completely threw me.
What about your thoughts, Steve?
Well, you've got to give Swansea a little bit yeah. There's no way it would all just down to us taking his foot off at the pedal. I think in that second half, they came out a little bit sharper and they were closing us down a lot more. And in first half, it's the best that I've seen our midfield. We bossed that midfield. But in second half, they stepped it up, and I think that's what showed. They've got McBurney up front, and I really like him. I thought he was fantastic at Barnsley. I was kind of hoping that we might get him. But we kept him quiet in that first half, and then in second half, he started getting little sniffs, didn't he? And just getting into the game a little bit. But not enough. As Vic says, we didn't lose. We didn't draw. We actually held on to it. And in the end, really, 3-1 over the whole of the game flattered them. We could have gone in at half-time 5-0 up, and that wouldn't have flattered us, would it? We'd have all said, well, we deserve that. And it would have been a right score.
It's a nice position to be in. So I tell you what, Steve, I'll stay with you on this one then. Adam Reach, scoring goals. Reach is scoring goals. I'm pretty sure I've lost the tune there. It's beautiful South Rotterdam, isn't it? And I feel like I've just done a generic football chant tune there. But I'll come back to it. But Adam Reach, scoring goals again. You've got the tweets from people like Sky Bet, the Odds Bible, and all the rest of it saying death, life, taxes, and an Adam Reach 30-yarder or a tapping, as it was against these lot. I mean, he's really come into his own, hasn't he, the last few games?
Oh, this is like porn for me. Right? This is like being in a hotel room, paying for porn. I'm laid on my bed, in my thong, and we're talking about Adam Reach. This is, it don't get any better than this. It don't get any better than this. He is, ever since he come to the club, I've loved him. And I know that a lot of people, when he first came, a lot of our fans thought he was a luxury player, but I never saw that. All I ever saw were great skill and great potential, and I thought, this is just wonderful for us to have a player like this. We had a player like this for a very, very long time. And I think he's getting better and better as time goes on. I'm just hoping that we can keep hold of him.
So Vic, Adam Reach, Beastie's going to have to put his, he's stretching out of his thong right now. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a question
going on, to be fair.
either that thong's got smaller, or we're talking about Adam Reach. Now, he's been a revelation of late. I mean, there was a point where he was our record signing, cost more money than Paolo Di Canio before Jordan Rhodes turned up. So, I mean, do you reckon that he's an asset that somebody might be sniffing at? One of those top half of the table teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we could all agree that between like December to January, he had some poor games. And I think a lot of us put it down to the fact that he was probably on the move and he needed to be very careful with tackles, etc. He couldn't face an injury. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then the first game after the window shut, he still did that. And we were like, what are you doing, mate? Like, it's all right now. Like, Sheffield Wednesday fan, just get injured. But he didn't, and he was just off the boil for a while. But at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on, do you? You don't know what's going on in everyday life. You know, you can even have a sniffle and it just puts you off at work, doesn't it? So we just don't know what it was. But the last couple of games, he's come back to himself again. He seems to be playing how he used to play. He's going for the long shots again. Obviously, he's scoring again, which is always nice. I do think it's unfair to just rely on him for goals and suddenly he becomes a good player and he starts scoring again, because I think the difference between a £1 million midfielder and Adam Reach is the £1 million midfielder would do the bits that Adam Reach does and not score goals, or would score goals but not do all the other stuff in between. He does both. That's why he's £5 million. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think we've got a lot to see from him, and I think we've got him for a fair while now, and I think, you know, he's 25, just turned. I've upped my Tinder age. Or he might be 26 now. But yeah, he could be one for the future. He might not be. Like, I think I've seen flashes of both sides where I've thought, oh, maybe we've overhyped him a bit here. But as far as I'm concerned, I love him.
Overhyped him, Steve. Overhyped him, Steve. What have you got to say about that?
Well, it's impossible. It's impossible. Do you not think, though, that little lull that he had was symptomatic of all of the players, of the team as a whole at that point? Everybody seemed to be on a downer at that time, didn't it? It wasn't just him. Whereas last season, he carried all of our season, really, didn't he? On his own shoulders.
Yeah.
Right? I remember, I don't know if either of you were there at Derby away when he got some real dog's abuse from the front row of our fans. And he obviously heard it, and he turned round to him and he gave them what for back. And I thought, you know what? That takes a lot of stones to be able to do that. To not just take it, but turn around and say, you're out of order, and give some back. And I think he's from that moment, in my eyes, he's grown, and I think he's been a wonderful player. As you say, Vic, quite rightly so, he's had a few down moments. But I can honestly put those things, those low moments, down to other things going on at the club.
So Steve, do you know, I've got to ask you this now, because we've had Adam Reach now for a fair bit of time. Now, having known you over the last few years, I think we've been doing this podcast now for 8 years. Now, I'm going to have to ask you a seminal question here. Yeah. Adam Reach or Clinton O'Morrison?
Clinton O'Morrison?
I think I'm losing you. I don't think I caught that question, actually. No, you're breaking up. You're really, really breaking up. I cannot deny my love for Clinton, ever.
Clinton is the nicest man in the world.
He is.
Above James. Clinton's my dad. I call him dad, and not in a weird way.
So we've still not overtaken Roadman Morrison as your favourite then, Steve. That's fine. That's fine. All right.
I can't badmouth Clinton. He's my bro.
He's your gang.
He's competent with his abilities. That's what he wants. That's what he once said to me.
Okay. So we've got Clinton O'Morrison getting a mention. And speaking about being 25 and Tinder age and rolling back the years and all the rest of it, Stephen Fletcher back amongst the goals. Now, come on, Steve. Come on. He's a man closer to your age than mine. That must be something special to watch for you, yeah?
It is. You know I love a big man up front. Stevie Clinton. I know he wasn't tall, but he was a big man. And now Fletch, he is a joy to watch, and not just goal scoring. I know they're scoring goals at the moment, but it's not about that. When he's on the pitch, it's like having, it's like having 12 players on the pitch. He is so good. The work rate he gets through is incredible. And at the moment, the way he's playing the last few games, he's worth the admission alone, in my opinion. He is absolutely fantastic. And they can do no wrong in my eyes. And again, going back to that Derby game last year, away, the bloke behind us was giving him dog's abuse, saying, I've done more in the last 2 minutes than Stephen Fletcher's done in 45. That's the sort of comment I hear about him all the time. And I'm thinking, you watch the same bloke as me. This man is a god. I love him. Absolutely love him.
Oh wow, we're getting right into your psyche tonight, aren't we, Steve?
It's
so right,
wrong. It does. It does.
it does it to you.
As
So,
Jim Royal
right,
says,
so-
I've lost 50 pence worth of crack of the ass.
Oh my god!
Right then.
Well,
Okay, so, come back from that, Dan. Right, okay, so, there's me trying to string it all together. All right, so, 3 games on the bounce at Hillsborough. You know, it's an anomaly, to be fair. Second game in, Brentford. Now, they beat us down at their gaff early this season when we were under Project Joss, or Project Yosh. I don't know how you pronounce it. And, so, once again, Vic, Fletcher's found his scoring boots once again. So that's 3 goals in 2 games for him?
he has. To be fair, I've always rated Stephen Fletcher. I think he's a very, very intelligent footballer. We've talked about this before. He finds space that nobody could find. You'd be like, NASA couldn't find the space that Fletcher finds. He's just so intelligent when he watches the game. You watch him move and you think, what are you doing? Like, why are you going that way? And then you realise it's, because Adam Reach is on a run on the other side and no one else has noticed it apart from Stephen Fletcher. And, Rosie. I just think he's absolutely class. I know we're going to come on to it in a bit, but seeing Mr. Hooper back in training today made me very excited for the thought of Hooper and Fletcher again. Just so excited. How excited. I dropped my fruit everywhere.
Hang on a minute. You said so excited. That's how excited you were. So excited. Now, I'm sorry, but that does not seem very excited to me.
What is excited to you then, Beastie?
Fruit bag. It's all about
I can't believe we've been doing this show for so many years and we still use the term fruit bag. Now, Steve, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to make you do this story once again because I think it's literally been about 7 years since we actually got to the bottom of dropping fruit bags. So can you just explain that gag for us? Because I feel we've got a new audience since then.
You know what I'm like. You know how old I am. My memory is not what it was. But I've taken Holly to McDonald's before games. I like to show her the finer places. And she always got a fruit bag. We took the fruit bag with us to the game. And I can't remember who it was that scored. Somebody scored as she passed me the fruit bag. That was it. It went up in air. And my fruit bag exploded. We went up.
Lot went up.
Yeah.
Grapes everywhere.
It became the thing to do when somebody scars is to drop your fruit bag.
But I remember you saying this, I remember you saying it back in the day and going, what do you mean it nearly made you drop your fruit bag? And they just had no context behind it. But it's still a phrase we still use, Steve, so, there's, you've left a legacy there on us. But,
let me ask you this, Dan. If you was really, really excited, would you ever describe yourself as so excited?
No, I'd describe myself as about to burst my fruit bag, I think.
Correct. Victoria, you need to sort yourself out.
It's been a long time, Beastie. It's been a long time.
To be fair, Steve, right, so I was just about to talk about this. Has there been a change since Project Yosh? Has there been a change in atmosphere at Hillsborough, at the away games, an atmosphere? I know you sit right near the front, don't you? So can you see, can you feel a bit more of a bounce around the place? Because, Steve Bruce comes under a lot of fire for playing negative, boring football. And I know James and I have spoke about it for years now about, the outcome over the entertainment. But do you feel that there's a bit more of a bounce now?
I've got to be honest with you. I think the atmosphere has been really, really strange over recent games. Who did we play before Swansea? What at home?
Rotherham, wasn't it? No?
No, at home. at the home game before.
Was that Millwall or Wigan or somebody like that? Was it one of them?
Wigan.
It's a long time.
Wigan,
yeah, that's right.
And it were a really flat atmosphere, or I thought it was. And it was similar with Swansea. Even though we were 3-0 up, I didn't think we had that bounce back. I really didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling how we were under the happy days under Carlos. Let's ignore the bad days under Carlos. Those happy days, just me sideways. That bounce was everywhere, wasn't it? At every game, you just went in there and you furrowed up. You felt that tingle up your back, and it was incredible. And I still haven't got there yet. But maybe it's starting to filter in just a little bit. And I think it's a hangover from Josh. I think we're still suffering from that. And I think we've got to retrain ourselves to get back into it. And maybe Monday night will be the game to do that.
Well, what's happening Monday? He says with a lull on his face. So before we move on from Brentford then, Vic, so, another game where we've not scored just one goal and tried to eke it out, like, Stuart Gray football and Josh Lukai football and the rest of it. So, was this a comprehensive win? Tell us about the day. We're fresh on the back of an overhead kick here, you know what I mean? We're going to be winners. I mean, come on, man.
The overhead kick was insane, wasn't it? So, hold on a minute. You've not really introduced this properly. Am I talking about the other night? What am I talking about here?
Right, so the overhead kick was Swansea, wasn't it?
Swansea, yeah.
Yep, and then Brentford. So our tails are
so you
up.
Want me to talk about
scoring
Brentford?
Overhead kicks. I want you to talk about Brentford. We're on there. Tell us about that. Tell us. I feel like we've been talking about Brentford so long that Stephen Fletcher's managed to lose his hair, have it stitched back in, and lose it again. You know what I mean? Come on. Let's go to Brentford.
Do you know, I'm always a bit wary when we play Brentford, just because they're one of those teams that I do keep an eye on, because obviously, we're all mates with Billy and the Besotted podcast, and we always just keep an eye out, don't you, for each other's scores, and just, you almost you wish them well when you're not playing each other or any position that could affect each other. But Billy was confident the other night in the pub, and I said, I wouldn't be so cocky. I really wouldn't. I really think we're going to beat you. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet, and I called it Fletcher in 2-0. So, I mean, I'm just saying, but I never put a bet on, do I? So, whatever. But yeah, I think we played so well. I don't think any of them really stood out. One of Fletcher's goals, was it offside? It looked so offside from where we were.
The first one. So the first one was a big, glorious ball from Bannon. It was a long one. Did anybody else think that there was a sniff of offside? It didn't ever seem to have been spoken about.
We did. We all, in the stand, where I was sat, obviously we're, in the middle of the north, we were all hold on a minute, was that offside? Have we got VAR? What's going on here? But obviously he gave it. Brilliant. Fine. My favourite bit of that entire match, and I don't know if you've got this in your notes, but is after Hutch got his booking, and then he went and chased down that kid for Brentford. The kid, just took the ball away from him quite simply, and Hutch was on one, proper on one at 20 miles an hour, just pacing after him. And the whole crowd all went, no. It's so funny. And he kind of stopped and was yeah, sus. And then obviously Bruce took him off, and we all kind of went, ooh. I mean, if you're going to get sent off, you've got to get sent off for kicking Gary Medine, haven't you? Not for that. But it was just, the stress at that moment. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I'm gonna ask you one from the far side. I don't think there's much else to talk about with Brentford. I'm gonna stick a pin in that right now, but I'm gonna touch upon something Vic's just said. So I get accused sometimes of being the negative one on here. I used to be the one that did the knob gags. Now I'm the one that sits and whinges. And
that's your age, babe.
Yeah, age is kicking in. Now, for me, I'm starting to get a little bit bored of Sam Hutchinson getting booked, and I want to know more. I want to see more of Sam Hutchinson, the football player. Where do you stand on it? Because there's always seems to be a 3-minute injury that he's laid down for, and then he gets booked, and then he kicks a man, and we all cheer and think he's great. Now, Is your pace starting to wear thin, or are you a bit gay for him as well as Adam Reach?
Well, yeah, I am a little bit gay for him, really. I can't deny it, and I do like it when he's all fired up like Victor's. When he chases players down like that, I think, especially under Josh, that's what we miss so much. Players who felt it, who thought, you know what, I'm not having that, and wanted to do something about it. Now, I know he's got headed, and I know he goes too far, and had he been allowed free reign the other night, he might have gone too far. Maybe it was a crowd that stopped him. But I do like that. I do. He drives my young and mad. Holly does her nut with him because she will call it way before he gets his card, and she will say he's getting a card, and he does. But I've got to be honest, I love it. I love it. I love to see him go in with a really hard tackle and then come out with ball because you can hear it in the crowd, and everybody, it's like a sharp intake of breath, and everybody holds on for 1 minute, and it's like watching Matrix. Everything slows down, and we're waiting. Everybody looks at the ref to see whether he's going to get a card out, and then wait for what colour it is. And it's just wonderful. I don't know. I do like the guy. I really do like the guy.
Yeah. Well, no, fair enough. You know what I mean? I think there's a few people that are starting to go on the fence. I mean, I know he's a popular player, and I just wanted to gauge your opinion on it, Steve, because I was waiting for you to give it the whole "you lot were slagging him off," so I told you he was going to come good, because I'm pretty sure I've heard you say that in the past.
Yeah, not about Sammy. No, I would never ever slag him off ever. The problem is, Dan, that you've missed me out so much now. All these new players have come in, and I don't think I've had a chance to say anything about them, really, have I?
No, not really. I tell you what, then. So let's go straight into the new signings. So you've got Lazar. I think Hector's probably in there. What's Rolando Aarons? Let's talk about those two lads. The two lads from Newcastle. Well, I mean, I think one of them, it was his first start, 2 assists and 3 points. Do you know what I mean? 1, 2, 3. That's not a bad start, right?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you. Yeah.
Yeah. Adams is one of them players who pleases the crowd instantly because he does the step overs, he does the shimmies, he takes players on, he beats them, and he's an exciting player to watch. What's not to love about that? Lazar, that game against Swansea, everybody were loving him. They were applauding everything that he did. And I think at one point, he ran back into the box and got a last-ditch tackle in, which looked almost certainly to be a goal. And again, everybody stood up and applauded him. Crowd pleasers. And the other one is Iorfa, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who reminds me for all the world like a young Carlton Palmer. But Carlton on crack because he is...
There's the name of the episode because he's got so many limbs. His limbs are so long.
But that's the point, Victoria. Well, like watching Carlton, everybody looked at him and thought, well, I see all the bits, but I don't know how the hell they work. How are they all working together in the right way? And he went past us into the box in that Swansea game, and they were like a blur. They were that quick. And without even looking up, he put the ball right into the danger zone, and I love that. I think all three of them. I think they've been the difference. You two must think the same as well. If you think about those games before Bruce actually took over, we were a little bit flat. And then these three have come in, gradually worked their way in, and I think they've changed us and transformed us.
I mean, well, I think you're right there, Steve, to be fair. I mean, Vic, have you got any new lads on your list out of the new guys?
No. However, that Lazara guy, or whatever he's called, his missus is beautiful. Like, she's on the list. It's on him.
Stop press. Footballer's wife is pretty. Christ or Jesus, wife.
No, but I mean, she's not like, she doesn't look like she's going to be on Real Housewives of Nether Edge anytime soon. Like, she is just beautiful. I love her. I follow her on Instagram. I don't follow him.
Yeah, you do it in the old school sense of the term when it comes to following him, I guess. So, like Steve did with Clinton Morrison back in the day.
Restraining orders, yeah.
I'm still following Clinton. Round after.
He's been doing the Tuesday night thingers, hasn't he? He's on the panel now, isn't he? He's one of the ones on. What's the Tuesday night soccer Saturday they do? It's not called Soccer Saturday, is it? Because it's not Saturday, but
is it called Tuesday? Soccer Tuesday.
Yeah, Soccer Tuesday. Soccer Tuesday. He does that. He does that. You can watch him on there. So, unfortunately, Lazar's injured. Steve, Vic, do you know any? I didn't do my homework on this. I knew he was injured, but did anybody get any? I couldn't work out how long he was out for.
No, I didn't even know he was injured. Well, not of any note. You know what I mean? Not of any long term. Do you think it's one of them things where they're saying he's injured, but he's going to play on Monday?
He's torn his hamstring, Auntie.
Oh God!
I don't think he'll be playing on Monday if he has. I think he might.
Oh, right.
He might walk with a limp if he is.
Right, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't know where I've read that, but yeah, that's what I've read. Like
Right then,
Star or
so-
something. I don't read anything too wild, so it won't be anything like crazy.
Right.
That'll be a big loss then.
Fair enough.
Well,
I'm going to.
if we get, well, I'm thinking about Fox coming in on Monday night, and I think that.
Hey, listen, Fox.
Yeah,
He's not been that bad though, Fox. Hey, come on,
No,
we
I'm
can't
not-
start.
I'm not slating him. I think he's done really, really well. Since he was a regular in the side, I think he's done really well. I think he's been one of his most consistent players, if I'm honest. But I don't think he handles a hot atmosphere, and I think Monday might not be.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Treat.
Well, there you are. I mean, so right then. So I'll tell you what. I'll come to you first on this, Vic. The fixtures fell kindly for us. Now there's a lot of people that are talking about playoffs, and there's a lot of people that are talking about.
Do not talk about the 6 points of the playoff.
You're insane.
Damn Fudge.
So,
Damn
hey, listen,
Fudge. Are you
we
winding me up?
We are in the football media. These are the questions that people need asking. I mean, I
We're
personally,
not
I
in the
think it's
football
mental.
media. I'm recording this in my bedroom, my back bedroom. That's not the football media, pal. Right? You are no Dom Howson. I am no James Marriott. We are just, no, absolutely not. Not a chance in hell of the playoffs. If it happened, I will get Steve. No.
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 What are you getting tattooed, Steve?
Hang on a minute.
What?
Hang on a minute. I've just
No.
lost another 50p's worth of my thong.
What do you reckon, Steve?
All right. So if we get
Go
into
on.
playoffs, I will get Dan Fudge tattooed on me somewhere.
Oh my
Well,
word.
oh my God, my underpants
Just
have just got
just the
tighter.
words. Just the words, not like your face roll. But that's how confident I am that we're not going to get in the
All
playoffs
of his name. All of
this
his
season.
Name.
Just
Right.
Dan Fudge.
Daniel Penelope Grandmaster Flash Fudge.
Princess
Give him his
Banana
full name.
Hammock Consuela.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Is it something worth talking about, or is it is it just something that'd be nice if it happened?
It's football, right? We've had a mediocre season. If we cannot think about closing that gap, then I'm sorry. What are we doing this for? Why are we going to football? Why are we dreaming about any of it? We have to dream about that 6 points. We have to think that we are capable of closing it. And I don't give a monkey's chuff if Victoria is going to be namby-pamby and airy-fairy and arty-farty about it. I'm saying we're going to get in there. Right? Starting on Monday.
Cue inspirational music.
It is the landslide on Monday. It starts on Monday with a resounding victory, right? Not only do we get into the top 6, we put the Pigs and Leeds into the playoffs. You heard it here first.
Well, we're going to take them down. We're dragging them down, are we? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to take points off Leeds and Sheffield United. We're going to make them have to fight it out with us in the third, the playoff spots. Like, I forgot what numbers they were then, but you get me. So is that what you reckon? I love that, Steve. But you have watched Sheffield Wednesday for a serious amount of years, and you know how capable they are of letting you down. You are aware of this.
Correct. And I never ever lose that stupid false hope ever. I always think it's going to happen, right? We beat Leeds in the first game in the playoffs, and we beat the Blade in the playoff final.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the scenes? All right, so let's move on. We'll go to the derby. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So, personally speaking, I hate the derby. I think it's an absolute distraction from us trying to move forward. It's a breakup of the season. The phone book goes out the window and all the rest of the cliches. And it means too much to too many people. Like, for example, if we'd have won 10 on the bounce and then lost 3-0 in the derby, we'll be asking for the manager's head. Do you know what I mean? And then vice versa. You know, Gary Megson, under him, our form was absolutely dreadful. And then the same week, a few years ago, he beat Sheffield United 1-0 and got sacked the week after. You know what I mean? But all the fans are going, oh, what you're bloody sacking him for? He's beat United. The whole season doesn't pivot on Sheffield United as a team. I hate it. I genuinely hate the pressure and I hate the nonsense around it. But I mean, Vic, I'll come to you first. I mean, what are your feelings on it?
Do you know what? I think it's a great day, isn't it? It is. It's an awful build-up. The whole thing is horrible. It's horrible. But it's one of those moments that, do you know what? As much as, like I've said a million times, I don't hate United. They're beneath me to hate them. I hate Leeds. I'm not particularly arsed about United either way. I wouldn't have such a good trust fund if it wasn't Sheffield United. Thanks, Dad. But I'm not bothered. I find it quite strange that, like, I'll be stood on the north and I've got, like, one of my best mates, Lauren, is home and away season ticket holder at United. And so we have, obviously, like, there's a lot of stick goes around in our WhatsApp groups and whatever. But I love the fact that I ring her at, like, 2:00 and I can see her and I can wave to her and, like, it's all like, oh, look at you. And, like, as soon as anything happens with them, like, even on the quote unquote Bouncing Day massacre or whatever it was, the first thing I looked for after they scored was her, and I was like, oh, and it made me even angrier because I was like, oh, fuck off, Lauren, fuck off. We went out that night, like, it was all fine. But it's that moment, isn't it? It's the fact that, like, not particularly for me, because I can't think of anyone in our family that's dirty like that. But a lot of families have a brother a lot of families, you'll have, like, two brothers who are Wednesday fans, a sister who's a Blade, two brothers who are Blades, so a brother who's a Wednesday fan. Like, it's just how it works. And that's what I love about a proper derby. And I think we lose that a lot with the Liverpool, Man United, Man City, any clubs that the vast majority of fans may not be from that place. I think there's only really us, Tyneside. There aren't many big, like, natural derbies anymore, are there? Obviously Man City, Man United's only been one since Man City got good. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I hate it. I hate it at the same time.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to trouble you for a prediction. We're at home. We're in the ascendancy.
Absolutely not. No, not in a million years. No. No.
Don't be a pussy.
No, because if you ask me honestly, I would say 2-0 Medine and Leon Clark. Because that's exactly the Sheffield Wednesday way, isn't it?
Let me ask you this. Do you think Wednesday will score?
Yeah, I do actually, yeah.
Do you think they'll score more than one?
No.
Right. Do you think the Blades will score?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll score more than one?
I don't know.
Right,
I'm not worried about it.
You're
I'm not
predicting
worried.
1-1 then?
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go with that then. So what about you, Steve? What's your feelings on the derby? I mean, you've seen enough of them over the years, haven't you? Now,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I wish it wasn't on a Monday night. I hate that. I hate the fact that it's on a Monday night. I hate the fact when it went on a Friday night, it should be on a Saturday. And I know where everybody moans about that, and I know they all moan about it being on the Sunday at 12 o'clock and all that stuff. It should be on a Saturday. A proper derby, a proper kick-off, and let us all enjoy it. You know, give them bottom tier as well if they want bottom tier. If we can sell enough tickets, which they obviously can, let them have it. all this pettiness about, well, let's keep them down to a minimum and all this. No, let them have as many as they can sell in that far end, in away end, and that's it, right? And let us fill the rest of it, and let's get on with it. And I think we'll win. I'm absolutely 100% convinced that we will win.
Oh,
how do you fancy a little? How do you fancy a little cameo appearance from Hooper?
Well, this is it. You see, Gary Hooper's back in training. Do you reckon, Vic? Do you reckon he'll get a run out? What do you think? Head over heart?
Nah, he's not. I mean, he's just got back, hasn't he? I mean, come on, give the lad a break. Let's not worry. Like, this is one thing that happens with derbies, is that we focus everything on this one football match. It's 90 minutes. We've still got shitloads of games to play, and I would rather Hooper be fit for 10 of them than Monday. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's only Sheffield United. They're not that fucking great, are they? Someone bought half of them for £1. Yeah, but
picture
do you know
this.
what I mean? I bought bleach for more than what that Prince paid for Sheffield United. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. I don't want to risk our best players getting injured or whatever for the sake of them. It's just not worth it. They've got Gary Medina, Leon Clark up front. Yeah, they'll probably both score, but at the end of the day, it's Gary Medina, Leon Clark. Do you know, it's just, no. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to risk Gary Hooper. Steve, if you're listening, it's not worth it. Don't risk Gary Hooper on them. Let's just wait. Let's wait and see. We're talking about our 6 points off playoffs. Then we're like, oh, let's fucking risk everyone against Sheffield United. No. It's one game. It's one game against a pointless club in a city that, let's be honest, there's already Sheffield FC, Hallam and Wednesday. They're fourth best in the city, so no point.
Oh, you are talking about them 6 points now, though, aren't you? You're talking about getting into playoff, which you weren't earlier.
Like it. He's got in your mind
I'm
there,
being
Vic.
pragmatic.
Let me give you a scenario, right? Leon Clark scores, put them 1-0 ahead. But after that, we pick up throughout the game and we're playing really, really well. And we get into the second half and Fletcher equalises.
Oh my God, let me just get comfortable.
Right? 20 minutes to go. Gary Hooper warms up.
Oh.
Right? 15 minutes to go. Bruce calls him over.
Oh my God.
He says,
it's like Mills and Boone.
He says, oops, get your kit off. You're going on.
Oh, I say that. Yeah. Yes.
I've said that plenty of times. my wife always wonders why I call her oops.
Right, don't bring your wife into this, Beastie. I'm halfway there.
I'm going to have another hoops moment tomorrow morning.
All right, you made it weird. Right, don't forget to mention...
Let's do that, yeah.
Here's a message from our sponsor.
Everything's too weird for you these days, isn't it?
I'm a millennial now. I've been living in that south now.
Millennial? Are you having a laugh? A millennial? Fucking hell.
Trying to fit in with all the young kids, aren't I? I'm offended by that. So listen, if you want a pre-match pint, get yourself down to the Riverside Cafe on Catch Bar Lane.
If you're a millennial, I'm an avocado. I swear to God, you have never been a millennial.
I think actually my generation has it. Because I was a grown-up at the turn of the millennium. You know what I mean? That's the rules, isn't it?
I could smoke illegally back term at millennium, so therefore I'm a millennial. Fuck off.
I could smoke by 1996. I could play lottery. Listen, right. So Riverside Cafe's on. Vic will be there laughing at your throat fence about you being a millennial with your hipster hats on and your YouTube emojis. Right. So then, I'm going to wrap it up there because, well, you're winding me up and Beastie sounds like he's in shed. All right then. So Vic, if anybody wants to get hold of you on the socials, on Twitter, on Tinder, have you got anything, what we're looking for on there?
I just need to give a shout out. Obviously, we're recording this on Thursday, the 28th of February. Tomorrow night, which is Friday, March the 1st. I think that's right. It's really confusing. It's February, isn't it? Me and James are on Football Heaven on Radio Sheffield, so you can listen into that. If you want to hear me at some other point and I'm not on the air with James, which is the only place to seem to catch James Marriott at the moment, you can find me at Victoria1867 on Twitter, Facebook, and ironically Tinder. That is my username. So there we go.
Of course it is.
Please don't add me on that. I'm deleting it. It's a bloody awful app. It's horrible. I don't need it anymore. Fine.
I think I completed it back in 2012.
We need your input. We need to see what you're up to.
I'm not up to all. I'm not up to all. I'll fill you in a bit, Beastie. I'll fill you in.
That sounds like a promise, that, Steve. Listen, Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on, and it's made my day listening to your voice again. Are you still on the Twitter rings?
Not so much as I used to be. But it all got a bit antsy to me, and people getting a bit too, I don't know. Grr. Everybody wants to fight everybody now on Twitter, don't they?
Yeah, it's changed.
Yeah, so I've sort of left it behind. I still go on every now and again, but I've left most of it behind. You can usually find me in a shed. That's why my voice is sounding strange on this. If it's not in this
my
shed,
attic looking at no stand.
Yeah, if it's not in this shed, you'll usually find me in one at Wick. I like to spend some alone time there. With a
picture. Again, it's made it weird. But if he says he's near the Wicks, he's at the one in Rotherham next to Pulse and Cocktail, buying more thumbs. What? What do you mean?
I can't believe you. Everything's chuffy with old weird Dan. Old Dan.
I know.
I'm a bilennial.
Bilennial.
Bilennial sounds like a lifestyle choice more than a.
It sounds like the way you would cut a piece of wood. Just make a bilennial cut there.
All right.
You are. You're bilennial.
All right, before this descends into absolute chaos, my name's Dan Fudge. Find me on Twitter. Thanks a lot for listening to us. And if you want to get in touch with James, who's gloriously volunteered to edit this episode and cut out Beastie swearing and Vic's Tinder mention, get James Marriott on Twitter as well. We've also got Dickie Owley's on there. Thanks a lot for listening. And come on to Wednesday. And let's hope we get 3 points on Monday.
Keep up to date with the Wednesday Week on Twitter at TWWcast or on our website, thewednesdayweek.co.uk.